Hello, ladies and gentlemen. What is going on? It's your boy FortySevens, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about Ranked. Now, Ranked has just dropped in Krunker, and I'm loving it so far. I made that pretty clear. I put out a tweet on Twitter, like literally just after it dropped, and I am loving it, right? I am loving Ranked. But I just wanted to give my first impressions, and I wanted to give a few of what the pros actually think, what it could improve on, and how Ranked could really turn Krunker into something absolutely massive, because I'm genuinely loving it. But I just wanted to get the opinion of some other people and give you guys my opinion, because, you know, as a big Krunker esports pro, you know. I'm joking. Anyway, let's just get into the video, my dudes. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about is actually how you can get into these ranked matches. Now, I know that a lot of my viewers might actually realize that ranked has came out, because there's no official announcement when you log into the Krunker menu. So unless you're in the Discord, in the Krunker Bunker Discord or on the Reddit, you won't know that ranked has actually been released. So all you have to do is you go over to ranked, click the button, and here you have a choice, alright? 1v1, 2v2, and 4v4. Now, at the time of me recording this video, Elo has not dropped in ranked. That's basically what makes it into ranked. Like, currently, it's basically just full of pros trying to play or whatever. Now, the way the game is set up changes depending on which game mode you select. So here we go, and you see we have 1v1. Now, you can actually queue for all three at once, which I wouldn't do myself personally, because if I were to play ranked, I would click either 1v1 or 2v2 or 4v4, etc. But anyway, on 4v4, it's basically, I think you can pick to play, well, you can't choose, but you can play either Undergrowth or Sandstorm on Hardpoint. Alright, if I'm not mistaken. Look, I'll get into that, I'll delve into that deeper, but that's the basics for ranked. Now, 1v1, there is a different map. I don't know what it's called. I think it's called Cargo or something like that. And it's basically a smaller, more condensed map. Now, the next game mode is 2v2. And now, 2v2 is very similar to 4v4, apart from a few little differences. It's still Hardpoint, but the difference is that there's a new map in rotation for this. Now, I only played a few games of 2v2. I prefer to play 4v4, but when I can, I'll play 2v2. Just to try it out. I had to try it out for this video just so I was informed on all the various changes. So, now that we have it covered on how you can actually play this, let's just delve in deep about each game mode and how they correspond to each other. The first thing I'm going to say about ranked is basically I enjoy it. Alright, I'm going to get it out there straight away. I very much enjoy it, and when the Elo system comes into play, I think it's going to massively improve Krunker. A few little things though that have to be changed. Now, in all fairness, Sydney has actually came out and said that he's going to be working on a few of these things. He made it very open on Twitter, and he put it into Krunker Bunker talking about it. He already said that he's working on Elo. He's also working on a punishment and lock for leaving mid-game. Now, this is crucial. Alright, this is genuinely crucial, because especially comes into play in 1v1s, and 4v4s, it's not as much of an issue. A punishment is definitely due for people who leave midway through a game. I think this will improve it greatly. I know in systems such as COD or whatever, or like an example, I know it's not an FPS, but a game that I used to play back in the day, I used to play FIFA a lot, and if you quit a match, you would automatically lose by a goal difference of 3. So I think something implemented on that, which would affect your KD, maybe in CSGO, how it locks your account for a certain amount of time, depending on how many matches you leave, something like that. Just a small punishment to show, you know what, dude, if you're going to play ranked, you might as well play it properly. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about that Sydney has also addressed is rank rewards. This is also another crucial thing. Now, Sydney knows what people want from ranked, alright? The community has given enough feedback for him to know what he wants, or what they want. But basically, he has said that he's going to get ranked rewards into place. And now, I know there's already been leaks of medals that people are going to be given. Even if you go and check your profile, there's a few little medals on the top of your screen. One is for your region, and the other is for your ranked. This ranked medal, it's basically going to show who's actually the best at the game. Krunker's stats are strange, alright? Because you can leave games with no punishment or anything like that. So basically, you can work up your KDR as much as possible. So I completely stopped caring about my stats personally, and I just focus on having fun at the game. But these medals are really going to show who has been grinding to get into the best position in Krunker. And other rewards I think you should work on would probably be something like skins, certain skins that you can unlock through it, maybe KO, stuff like that. Just small things that give you an incentive to actually play the game. Queue with friends. Alright, now personally, I have played a lot of scrims. I'm part of a few scrim Discord servers like CKG, who is, it's a brilliant server. I definitely recommend you checking it out. I'll actually leave the link in the description if you're interested in scrimming. But basically, you can have communication with your teammates. A lot of my gameplay is to do with teamwork. I'm alright as a player on my own, okay? But I am not the best. I will not hit every shot. So that's why if I have a team, I can call out a lot of situations and be able to read the game very well. But in ranked currently, there's no way in order to do this. Like I said, ranked with friends is going to be coming, which means that you can hop into a Discord call with your buddies and it will be 100%. Now, I am genuine. That's probably one of the most hyped features I need, just to be able to be sure that you're able to get in with your team and be able to play whatever you want with the right callouts, whatever. The next thing he actually has implemented within, I think, the first 24 hours, Sydney has already implemented locking players into place during the warm-up. Now, this is insane, alright? I think it's a great idea. I'm not saying it's not. I think it's a great idea, but the fact that Sydney was able to push this out so quickly is just outstanding. Hats off to him. It is an incredible job he's doing with it, being able to keep up with this. Now, I would though, if you guys don't know, I stream over the weekend or whatever. Every weekend I do a few streams. And a game mode that we love to play is CSGO and Krunker. Now, it's very, it's hard to explain through this video. So if you want to know more about it, just leave my stream link in the description, twitch.tv/FortySevens47, check it out. But basically, I think it'd be a really good feature to be able to have players locked in place in hosted games, in custom matches. I genuinely think this would be a great feature, and if it's already in the game, it shouldn't be that hard for Sydney to do. So Sydney, if you're watching this, just, implement it right now, bro. But anyway, on to the next one. Now, this is actually something that isn't been addressed yet, and I know a lot of pros are actually wanting this more than a lot of things in it, even more than ELO right now, is class restrictions. Alright, now everyone knows the classes in Krunker. There's everything ranging from Vince, which is a shotgun, Detective, Revolver, etc, etc. But the thing is, in game modes like Ranked, I definitely think that there has to be some class restrictions. For game modes like Hardpoint, I think Rocketeer needs to be addressed. The splash damage actually has been adjusted on Rocketeer, but I definitely still think that it has to be adjusted to fit Ranked better. Because the way I think of it, right? Now, Rocketeer isn't the only one I have an issue with currently, but just for reference, I'm going to mention it now. I definitely do think, though, if a class is not suitable for Ranked, it should not be suitable for pubs. I might be wrong here, and it might be a bit of a meme class, but I definitely do think classes that shouldn't be available in Ranked should not be available in the pubs. So I think there has to be some major adjustments done to some classes. I definitely think the ray gun is another case of this. It's disabled in a lot of scrim servers for reasons that are pretty evident. First of all, you have to be a level 50 to get the ray gun, and secondly, it's an overpowered weapon in itself. I've actually been doing a lot of practice with the Deagle currently because I realise how overpowered the ray gun is. But the problem is the ray gun is not banned in Ranked, and I think this will lead to some issues down the line when ELO comes out. To kind of get around this, I definitely think Sydney should look at some of the weekly tournament rules. I know Moswee's holding some of them and stuff like that, the Krunker esports tourneys. I definitely think he should just adjust them rules into Ranked. It'll just make it 10 times better. And yeah, that's probably the only thing I say about that. Now, another thing to do with Ranked in general is the waiting time. Alright, the waiting time is just bizarre. Now, I don't understand if this is because there's not enough servers to host enough people, or that there's not enough people to play on the servers to get into a lobby. But either way, I definitely think it should be addressed. I feel like sometimes I'll get into a lobby straight away, sometimes I won't. Now, obviously in peak hours, this isn't a problem. I'll probably get into a lobby pretty soon. Hours that aren't very peak, it is a massive issue. Now, to deal with this, I definitely think that Sydney should make it pretty evident that Ranked has been released in Krunker. I definitely think that a lot of people playing Krunker right now don't realise Ranked is actually a thing. The main menu will probably be the best place to advertise it, even somewhere saying Ranked has been released, something like this. Maybe even a changelog that comes on as soon as you open Krunker on your web browser. I think something like that would be very good for the player base. Now, another thing with servers, alright, now I'm not going to delve in deep with this, but I just want to say, I do think that the tick rate should be upped in these competitive servers. I've had a few incidences where my shot has went through people, etc, etc. Now, you see, the problem is, right, okay, just before I get out of the way, I just want to say I don't have a lot of experience talking about tick rates and stuff like that. I am not a developer of a game. I don't know how hard this would be. I know it costs a lot more money to get servers, but I think for ranked servers, it is worth an investment if this game is to go professional. I definitely think that the tick rate should be upped in these ranked servers. It just makes sense, but I don't know if that's at all possible. I know I and a lot of pros would really enjoy this to be upped, because in these professional games, everyone who's playing can move really well. A lot of these players are playing with 400 FPS, etc, so they're literally beaming around the map, and that means that their hitboxes are moving at an incredibly fast speed, which means their tick rates have to be upped. This is just my own this is only my own personal opinion, but if this is possible, I definitely think it should be something that's looked at. Another thing, which is kind of taking it back to the basics of the game, I'll show up a tweet right now. This is who has given me the idea. I'd like to thank Fused for giving me this idea. But basically, it's actually been something that I've been thinking about a lot previously anyway. But in Krunker, right, if you guys don't know, movement is all down to FPS, alright? And in ranked, it gives it kind of a pay-to-win situation. The better computer you have, the faster movement speed you're going to have, the better agility you're going to have. And I definitely think this is something that should be addressed. Now, I do understand that this is going to be a hard issue to solve, because it basically means resetting the entire system of Krunker and how movement works. But I definitely do think it's insanely unfair for players to have 400 FPS rather than players with lower spec PCs such as myself, that we have to struggle just because they have better PCs. Now, obviously, better PCs, it's going to give you an advantage anyway. But in a game like Krunker, the literal one of the main pieces of the game is down to FPS. I definitely think this should be addressed. I know that I've got a lot of opinions from pros on their FPSs and how they think that movement should be, but I personally do think that the FPS, it shouldn't be capped, but the movement speed should be capped at about 150, 160 FPS. That's how the movement speed should be capped. I feel like that gives it the most fair advantage. You can still move extremely fast, but it doesn't mean that players are able to do these insane turns, etc, etc. I'm going to be working on an actual movement tutorial video soon, but basically, when you're on a lower FPS, you have to use your mouse a lot more to go side to side when you're moving. Like I said, I'll delve into that deeper. That's a whole topic for the entire game itself. But when it comes to ranked, I definitely think this is an issue that has to be addressed. Now, talking about the game modes in particular, I definitely think they're very good. The only thing that I would be interested in is a search and destroy game mode. I know what you're thinking. Krunker is a fast-paced game. But like I said, if you guys don't follow the stream, I genuinely think a game mode like the way I played it in the stream would be insanely fun for everyone. And I definitely think that if Sydney or any of the developers are watching this and they want me to go through what I think would be better, like obviously my opinions don't mean that much, but I just saying it from the bottom of my heart, I definitely think a search and destroy game mode with the rule limits that I have set would be very good. Now, another thing that would be very controversial, and it kind of manipulates the game a lot, would be, in my opinion, obviously, removing name tags. I think this would really make the game a lot more competitive. It would make the game a lot harder for these players. I definitely think in pubs, name tags should be present, but for game modes like ranked, I think it would add a whole new level to the game. It would make the game a lot harder than it already is. And I think it would put an interesting spin on the game for ranked. Now, obviously, this is going to be a very unpopular opinion, but from experience, I definitely think this would be a good idea. Every player should have to have near enough the same customization abilities in ranked. Obviously, in pubs, it's fun to be able to customize everything you want, but in ranked, I definitely think there should be a set limit to how much customization you should have. The one thing that I'd kind of find as an unfair advantage is show weapon off. Alright, now I've mentioned this previously. This is also going to be a very unpopular opinion, but I do think that when you're going into ranked, players should be forced to have weapon turned on. I also think that they should not be able to play with contrabands. This is just my ruling, but I definitely believe that contrabands would cause more lag than not having a contraband because of the moving on the skin. Now, obviously, I don't know, like I said, I'm not a dev, but I think this would make sense. In my eyes, it does. Now, when it comes to 2v2s, I only played my first 2v2 there a few days ago, and I played in this cargo map. I don't think the cargo map should be in rotation. I just think it's too close knitted, and especially for a game mode like Hardpoint, there's no places to hide on the map, and I think it's basically just a matter of people pushing, rotate, push, rotate, push, etc, etc. Obviously this could be changed by just taking the map out of rotation, but I think maybe if just a few walls were added or something like that, it would make a whole lot of difference to that map. That's just my first thoughts and impressions on Ranked as a game mode in Krunker. If you guys have any thoughts and impressions, make sure to leave them in the comments below. I'm genuinely curious on what you guys think of Ranked, and if you've played Ranked, if you know Ranked is a thing yet, if you know how to play Ranked, etc, etc. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just gave a few thoughts and impressions on what I think of Ranked so far. I think a lot of my points make sense, a lot of them are valid. And yeah, if you guys are interested in watching that stream, like I said, make sure to check it out. I also have my Twitter link in the description. I talk about a lot of this stuff on Twitter with a lot of my followers, so make sure to check that out. And yeah, that's all for now, guys. Make sure to use code 47 when you're buying KOR, and good luck, guys. Peace. All the pain.